Hello everyone. I just pulled mydei. It cost me roughly $300 US. As you can see, he's brand new on my account, and seeing as he's brand new and I haven't played him before, it's time for me to tell you how to play mydei. If you've ever wondered what it'd be like to play Gilgamesh in Honkai Star Rail, then you should probably wait for the Fate collab, because this guy is the closest you'll get to Faker without Emiya. mydei is our very first auto battle character. Every character can do it, but this guy actually turns off your ability to attack and says, fine, I'll do it myself. You have a little charge number below his profile picture, and once it reaches 100, you go sicko mode. This charge is gained by taking damage or dealing damage. This is his entire gimmick, and it's different from Jingliu's sicko mode because Gilgamart doesn't have a limit on how many attacks he can actually do. He just decides to go whenever he feels like it, and if he's faster, he'll feel like it more. Ultimately, this character is very simple to play because you don't actually play him. If that sounds like something that's up your alley, maybe it's worth for you to spend $300 on him as well. Anyways, how you play him is he has this charge meter that I just described briefly, and when he gets 150 charge, he hits really hard and plays a special animation that you'll see more the more money you spend on the game. When he attacks, he spends HP, and when he ults or enters his auto battle state, he gains HP back. His ult also taunts enemies so they only attack him. When he's really mad, he can't be crowd controlled either, so he's one of the few characters that you can play without a healer. But with that said, most of you are going to want a healer anyways, because despite what everyone on the internet will tell you, it is not fun to hit the reset button 59 times. mydei, pronounced mighty by the English dub of the game, but should definitely be pronounced mydei, scales on HP, so he's not good at dying, but enemies are good at making you die, and sometimes that means mydei dies. If he dies, he says no, because you cannot be killed without consent. Contrary to popular belief, people do not actually die when they are killed, if people are mydei. With his major traces, he can die up to 3 times without losing Vendetta. If you don't know what Vendetta is, it's basically when he goes sicko mode after reaching 100 charge. Now, if you don't have major traces, he still won't die the first 3 times because he says no. Also with traces, if you get him to 8,000 HP, he gets a free 48% crit rate. You don't need him at 8,000 exactly, but if you go less than 7,500, you're probably griefing. The reason you want more HP is because his talent increases his HP more, and more HP is less die, more damage. More damage, less die is more enemy die more fast. Fast, more enemy die is more flex on Twitter. mydei is a very unique concept that we have never seen before in a character. Everything that he does is entirely unique to him unless you press this button. One of the unique things about mydei is that he actually has multiple build options. All of the stats are the same, but he's got quite a few sets to choose from, and they're probably not the ones you're expecting. Do you guys know how they made a new planar set that gives HP and also wants you to build 5,000 or more HP for a bunch of crit damage, and it looks like it was made specifically for mydei? Yeah, it's not even his best set. But before I read you his best relics, I need to read you this ad. The main things that you want on this character are Scholar Lost in Erudition and Rudolent Arena. The reason is that Rudolent Arena gives a skill damage bonus, which counts for all of mydei's automatic attacks that he does, and Godslayer Be God. On top of that, you get a crit rate bonus, which mydei doesn't need much of, but I know your relic substats are dog shit, so you can use it. Rudolent will definitely activate with any small amount of investment, and Scholar Lost in Erudition, if you time it correctly, the pieces will give you even more skill and ultimate damage. In fact, if you use his ultimate right before Godslayer Be God, or to trigger Godslayer Be God, which is his 150 charge skill, he gets an extra 25% skill damage. This combo is disgusting, and you should use it. However, if using Rudolent Arena does not help you get to your 8k HP threshold, or even 7,500, you should opt for either Longevous Disciple on the 4-piece, or the Bone set. Any of those 4 sets are fine, and surprisingly, Longevous Disciple, even with Rudolent Arena, is a pretty solid option. It is always morally correct to take Blade's relics and put them on someone else. For your chest piece, you can go with a crit damage, crit rate, or HP chest, depending on whichever you need to get to 8k HP. But I would highly recommend focusing on switching your other relics first. This is because crit can be a harder stat to roll for and a harder stat to obtain than something like HP percent. If it were up to me, I would say go for crit damage. For his boots, you can go with speed or HP. I honestly don't really care which one you pick, but if you want to know what happens, I don't know, I'll type it out. I don't really feel like saying it. On his planar sphere, you can go for imaginary damage, but if you're still trying to hit 8k HP, go for an HP orb because that might make the difference. And lastly, for the rope, if you go anything other than HP, I have no idea what you're cooking, but Gordon Ramsay would be disappointed. There are also many light cones in Honkai Star Rail. As you can see, I have just retrieved the newest one called Flame of Blood, Blaze My Path. Looking at this art, I am almost 100% certain that mydei being in the game means Gilgamesh will not be in the Fate collab. Anyways, this is going to be his best light cone, and it is pretty dang strong. It's going to increase his max HP and the healing that he does for himself. By the way, I forgot to mention that when he attacks, he loses HP, and when he uses his ultimate, he gets HP back. I probably would have said that earlier, but this is a mediocre guide, and I don't know what else you were expecting. It gives him more HP consumption, which is more charge. It increases the damage dealt by the attack that he's using, and if it eats a lot of its HP, it increases the damage bonus by even more. If you happen to be one of the unfortunate souls who pulled and invested in Blade, you can in fact use Blade's light cone on mydei and get insane results. Even my wife's light cone is incredibly strong on mydei and better than all of your 4-star options, except for when it's not, because a secret vow actually can beat out Jinglu's light cone, and I don't know where mine is. Out there it is. It's good. Look at all that damage. Wow, 40% damage bonus and then 40% more damage bonus. If you add that up, that actually makes a total of 80 damage bonus. Clara's light cone is also good, but I don't have it. And if you're free to play, please feel free to use the light cone that has Rappa, Robin, and the guy Hoyoverse forgot about. This increases his max HP, gives him a huge crit damage bonus, and it has a high HP base stat. Flame Zafar also works, but Ninja Record is 100% free, and if you have Secret Vow, that one's even better. Don't use Aeon, it doesn't even have useful stats for him. Anyways, now that I've lathered you all up and prepared you for what's to come with the rest of this video, let's talk about the teams that you can play mydei in, as I'm sure you will find them very interesting. Hello and welcome to mydei's best teams. As I mentioned before, he doesn't need a healer, but it's probably better if you play him with one anyways, since it's not fun to hit the reset button. Here's one of mydei's more free-to-play accessible teams. Sunday here can be replaced with any character that has action forward. This could be Sparkle, or this could be Bronya if you're having a really terrible free-to-play experience. However, I would highly recommend, if you don't have Sunday, replacing him with a sustainer, or if you do have Sunday, replacing Pela with a sustainer. Also, this is not Imaginary MC, this is Remembrance MC, but as you can see, I have not bothered to do the main story quest yet, because like how I don't have enough time to learn how to pronounce mydei, I also don't have 10 hours in my day to go read through the entire Amphorius storyline. If you're going to play a sustainer, I highly recommend Locha, Gallagher, or Lynx. Gallagher and Locha are both great for their ability to constantly heal your characters when they are attacking. And Lynx is great because she can increase your HP, which can also lead to more damage. However, it should be noted that Lynx's HP increase does not apply to your crit rate bonus on mydei, because you. I would highly recommend against using a character like Fushuan, because the amount of damage that mydei does overall is determined by the amount of charge he gets, which is directly tied to the amount of damage that he takes. Bailu can also get a similar effect with her damage reduction, but also if you're playing Bailu in 2025, you're probably griefing your account. Here's another mydei team. This one is a little bit more premium and has a healer on it, so that way you guys don't complain in the comments. And lastly, this is one of mydei's best teams and can zero cycle probably every MOC going forward. If you speed tune Sunday to about 1 billion speed, and Sparkle to about 1 billion speed, and then you play Tribi with Dance 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 and the win set at 141 speed, and play mydei nice and slow, you're gonna have a very good time. This character is going to be excellent for soloing things, so if you're a content creator and you want to flex how good you are at the game, take him into something like Simulated Universe. For some content creators like Box2, this is your moment. I guess we should also talk about Eidolons. E1 basically makes it so Godslayer Be God increases the damage multiplier to its primary target by 30%, but it also makes the ability deal damage to all enemies equal to the amount that the primary target takes. Essentially, this allows you to play mydei in pure fiction, and also makes him very good against bosses who consistently spawn more enemies. However, in single target combat, this is just a 30% multiplier increase and easily skippable. However, if you did sell your house cost before the recession occurring in 2025, you may be able to purchase E2 mydei, which is ridiculously powerful and allows him to gain charge based off of the amount that he heals or gets healed. On top of that, mydei can now ignore 15% of enemy targets' defense. Since we probably can't expect Gilgamesh in the Fate collab, this is the closest you're gonna get, so if you really like Fate, maybe this is worth it. E3 is a skill and basic attack level up. You're never going to use your basic attack with this character, but the skill level up is nice. E4 increases his crit damage in Vendetta, which is after he goes sicko mode. It also lets him restore HP after receiving attacks from enemies, which is going to also give him more charge for his E2. E5 is an ultimate and talent level up, and E6 basically, do you even need me to tell you what this is? Honestly, guys, it's E6. It's gonna be way more damage. His super special flashy attack now only takes 100 charge instead of 150, so combine that with E2, and this guy will single-handedly show you what was at the end of the Mayan calendar. If you decide to swipe on this game for some reason, I highly recommend going for his light cone over his E1, but if he's your baby girl, go for E2 and S1 of his light cone. I would like to take this moment to give a special shout out to Daily mydei on Twitter. Although I didn't see you at me every day, your dedication to this character is admirable. Also, for some reason, you added me twice on March 1st. I respect the grind, and I hope you win all of your 50/50s. I would also like to give a shout out to anyone with Phasalia in your name on Twitter. I hope you lose all of your 50/50s going forward.